Ahmed Al-Sharaa, whose given name in Arabic carries this sense of praiseworthiness, emerged as the transitional leader of a war-torn Syria, ascending to power after the fall of Bashar al-Assad. Born to a modest family in the countryside, he gained early support among local communities by calling for justice and reform. He eventually led a coalition of rebel forces and proclaimed himself interim president. Determined to unify a nation battered by years of conflict and foreign interference, shortly after assuming leadership, Ahmed arrived in Turkey to bolster his international standing. President Tayyip Erdogan welcomed him warmly, reflecting Turkey's backing of anti-Assad elements throughout the prolonged upheaval, seeking to revive economic and diplomatic ties. Ahmed hopes to restore the once thriving trade links between Syria and its navigate, support in the fight against extremist factions, but are viewed as a threat by Turkey. As he maneuvers through this complex landscape, Ahmed strives for global recognition and stability, drawing on his humble roots to connect with ordinary citizens who long for peace and the rebuilding of their homeland. Syria's transitional leader, Ahmed Al-Sharaa, arrived in Turkey to enhance his legitimacy on the global stage. The former rebel leader, who recently declared himself Syria's interim president, was warmly received by President Tayyip Erdogan. Al-Sharaa's success in the rapid campaign that toppled dictator Bashar al-Assad was aided by Turkey, which supported anti-Assad forces throughout Syria's prolonged civil war. His visit to Turkey aims in large part to revive trade between the neighbors, which is on the rise. According to Turkish Exporters Assembly data, exports to Syria increased significantly around the time Assad was overthrown and continued to climb afterward. But the trip also focuses on diplomacy. It marks another foreign visit for Al-Sharaa since his takeover. He recently met with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Riyadh and is also looking beyond the Middle East. Moscow announced it is in negotiations with Damascus regarding Russian military bases in Syria. In an interview with a prominent publication, Al-Sharaa said his government hopes to renew relations with the United States soon. However, he mentioned there has been no direct communication with the Trump administration. Syria remains under heavy economic sanctions from Washington. The outgoing Biden administration issued a temporary sanctions exemption for transactions with Syrian governing institutions. A key concern could be the fate of the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, also known as the SDF. The United States has supported this group, which played a major role in the coalition's campaign against Islamic State. Turkey considers the People's Protection Units leading the SDF an offshoot of the Kurdistan Workers' Party. The YPG has waged an insurgency against the Turkish state for decades and is classified as a terrorist organization by both Turkey and the United States. There are also indications of escalating tensions. A car bomb recently caused numerous casualties in the northern Syrian city of Manbij, which has changed hands multiple times, first held by the SDF, after it dislodged ISIS, then later seized by Turkish-backed rebels. No group immediately claimed responsibility. The incident followed another car bombing in the same city that claimed additional lives, according to Syria's state news agency.
We discussed the steps to be taken against the separatist terrorist organization and its supporters who occupy northeastern Syria. We are ready to provide the necessary support to Syria in the fight against all forms of terrorism, whether it is the PKK or Daesh. We reaffirmed that we are with them in the context of the control of the camps in northeastern Syria.
Turkey aims to safeguard Syria's territorial integrity and push for the disarmament of the YPG in exchange for its support of the new Syrian leadership and post-war reconstruction efforts.
We are working together on the remaining major strategic portfolios. Most importantly, building a common strategy to confront security threats in the region that guarantee prolonged peace and security for the people of Syria and Turkey. During our meeting, we discussed the outstanding threats on Syrian soil in its northeast, and we also discussed the importance of international pressure on Israel for it to withdraw from the buffer zone in southern Syria in accordance with the 1974 agreement.